Cool.
Okay, so confidence.
Confidence, right, okay.
What is confidence? And how do we gain it?
Well, I would suggest confidence is the inner feeling of capability in a situation, the inner feeling of your self-worth in a situation.
Yeah.
And so we use the word confidence. It's a bit of an umbrella statement, like, oh, Joe has confidence. Really? Where'd you put your confidence, Joe? You pass me some of that confidence over. So yeah, confidence is an inner game, but people tend to use this word confidence globally. So firstly, we've got to think about confidence in context. Well, what's the context that we've got confidence in? You know, have you got confidence in public speaking? Great. So if you had the same confidence in public speaking in whitewater rafting, would that be applicable?
Yeah.
Well, I would bloody hope
No.
not, unless you had the skills.
Yeah.
So really what we should be asking is there a disparity between someone's confidence and someone's capability? Because we all know people that are exuding high levels of confidence with not the slightest clue on capability. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really, really confident. And you think, I'm pretty qualified in this and I know what I'm doing. And I think you're overconfident in the level of ability you've got.
Yeah.
I see that all the time in the world that I work.
And I think sometimes you can put on that confidence, or what your people perceive as confidence, to actually hide a lot. Does that make
Yes?
And I can
A
say
bravado.
I can say that because that's what I did for a long time. That you know, people will say, "Gosh, you're so confident," but actually, deep down, I wasn't.
Yes.
Do you know? And I think and it's only, I'd say, the last couple of years where I have set myself challenges more. And don't get me wrong, I've always done little challenges, but little challenges where I've been safe, where I were in that safe environment. So I'd still grow a little bit, but I've challenged myself more now and pushed myself that more, so that the confidence is actually stronger. So if we talk about back in 2020, doing a live on Facebook, doesn't sound like a big thing, but actually pressing that red button, and I know there's so many people out there who have this issue.
Watching. Yeah.
Who's watching me?
Yeah. Who's watching?
You know, who's watching me? Can I press that red button and can I just talk? And there is a lot of people out there who panic about it, you know. And I know when we worked together, I said about public speaking, about not being able to stand up in front of people and talk. But I actually do it anyhow because I've been coaching since 2005. So I stood up in front of people, but
So maybe I'm literally just thinking off the cuff here. Maybe it's about the 3 C's.
Go on.
Confidence, capability, and consequences.
Yeah.
Now, consequences is what people don't talk about.
Yeah.
So if you've got a high degree of confidence and a low degree of capability, there's going to be some really bad consequences.
Yeah.
In certain contexts.
Yeah. And I suppose if I'll think back to when I was coaching from 2005 to 2008, I wasn't very confident, but because I didn't have the I didn't feel I had the capability to actually do the coaching, even though I'd been given a badge to say, yes, you can now coach.
Yeah.
I didn't actually believe that I had that capability to actually do it, because we all know when we get these qualifications that we show them a snippet, then we have to go away and practice. And it was that going away and practice, because they'd said I was qualified. I then put that perfect head on. I should be able to do this.
Great. So the key word you use there is practice.
Yeah.
So if you have practiced a known set of skills.
Yeah.
Now here's the key thing: if you've practiced a known set of skills physically and psychologically, so you do mental rehearsal, people call it visualization, but just call it mental rehearsal, then that should increase your capability in scenario. So therefore your confidence should directly be proportionate to the amount of practice you've put in. The more you practice, the more confident you get to be able to do that task.
Which is and that's, I think, because in 2008 I got given a Bible, and it was a athletics coaching manual thing that became my Bible, and that developed my confidence. Because then I built the knowledge up from that Bible. So then I did the sessions, and then I actually saw the kids actually achieve.
Bingo.
Which then made me feel more confident with it. And
There's a bit of a toxic concept going along that everybody should have high levels of confidence. Well, maybe they shouldn't.
No.
maybe that's really where we've got a lot of problems in society, where people with overtly high levels of confidence have made decisions when they don't have the capability.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be thinking, does that person have the right level of confidence for their level of capability? And what are the consequences of them being right or wrong about this?
Yeah, and you see this in organisations, you see it in all sorts of places where people are given promotions and then they're expected to be able to do it, but not given the right kind of support to actually move them up to that next level. You know, I've seen that on a number of occasions, and with myself and with other people, where they've been given that promotion. Oh, right, now you can go and do it. Well, actually, I still need to be able to practice it. And if I think about when I did my management course, yeah, I'd done the qualification, but I didn't feel confident, but I didn't actually, and I got sort of dropped in it, if that made sense. And it was like, go on, you can do it now, Joe. But actually, because I hadn't had the support and the mentoring, it was overwhelming.
Well, the big question would be asking, how do you know you can do it?
You've got to actually do it. You've got to be able to do it. You've got to take the steps to do it.
Got it.
But
you've got to have some past experiences, some past training, some past competencies that allow you to come to a conclusion that in this new scenario, you can do it. It might not be fluid and perfect and smooth and easy, but I'll get a positive result.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got none of the past experiences, then you're probably rightfully in a situation going, I don't know what I'm doing.
No.
Great.
Yeah.
That's the inner wisdom kicking in and saying, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. That's what's going on wrong with society. Is we're expecting people to be super, super confident.
Yeah. But we're giving people the right kind of mentoring and coaching to actually be able to develop the skills. So you give them these promotions, but actually make sure they've got the right kind of mentoring and coaching, whether it be
and do the inner evaluation, maybe with a third party, an inner evaluation to whether you have the skills or not. And the consequences for that. So if I'm working in scenarios where there's a high degree of objective danger, I need to know, and from my point of view as a guide, leader, coach, that people have got the skills. So I've done repetitional training in different contexts before they get to the big scary place. Then I go, they've done it 10 times here, 10 times here, 10 times here. So this place here, they've only got to do it once well. And I can usually get them to deliver the goods really, really quickly. But there are other situations where I'll put people in low risk environments that have got a very high subjective danger. So there's a great rapid on the River Tay called Campsie Lynn, and it's phenomenal. It's a good sort of 4 metre, 5 metre slope with an enormous wave at the bottom of it. And it's gargantuan. You can put 10 canoes on it and it'll just munch them all.
Oh my God.
But there's no consequences. Because it's so deep and so fast that if you come out your boat, it just spits you down the river and you pop up 10 metres away. So it's like perfectly safe. So I look at it and think, well, the worst that's going to happen here is somebody just goes for an indelicate swim. So the confidence level is a great place to have consequenceless confidence building.
So you know you're going to be safe, and it's just you've just learned the skills. You can do the skills comfortably, and it's that again. I talk about feeling comfortable, being uncomfortable, but feeling comfortable doing it. And
so this thing about this confidence is an inner game. No, it's not. It's both. Confidence is an inner game and an outer game. How will you know? What are you unconfident about? Well, I'm unconfident I won't do a good job. So how are you going to get to the situation and know that you can do a good job? Acquire the skills and practice. That's how it works. And you acquire the skills and practice in situations where the consequences of failure, and we have to fail when we're learning, the consequences of failure are very, very low. So you have to get into situations where it gets challenging so much that you fail and you can pick yourself up and start again. Pick yourself up and start again.
Well, fail is the first attempt in learning, isn't it? That's, that's what I say to people. It's don't be afraid to fail. But I think, again, society makes people think failing is bad. And
it's absolute garbage.
and it's rubbish.
And we've got a society now that says, children must never fail. They always get a participation certificate. They never get told, that wasn't a very good go. And they should never be allowed to fail. They should never be allowed to wrong. That is bad psychology. Really, really, really bad. And I don't know where it's come from.
No, I don't know where that's come from either. But it's just it's just like we have got that thing. It's failing. We fail. If you think about it, I failed my driving test. Well, obviously you failed it because you needed, there was something you need to learn more, and it's...
You didn't pass this time.
No, you can go back and do it again, you know, and that's the thing, and it's... So we have to make sure that children understand this, that it's not wrong to actually fail.
Well, it's not just children.
And adults as well. Yeah, like I said, it's
basically
big time.
everybody needs to understand that failing is important.
Yeah.
I heard a fantastic ratio the other day that about you should have an 80 to 85% success rate, which means 15 to 20% of it should be failure.
Yeah.
And that's skill acquisition.
Yeah.
So you need to be failing in skill acquisition. 15 to 20% of the time, you need to be fluffing it up.
Yeah.
Which is good. That you need to get to that level of frustration for about 20% of the time, which is really good.
The thing is, though, it is an uncomfortable feeling when you fail. It is, and it's just like, and especially if you're that perfectionist, that things have got to be done perfect, and it's like, and because I know that I get that uncomfortable feeling about failing, and
Screw it up. Get it right.
Screw it up.
Which goes back to the consequences again. You need to have the capability before you have the confidence. But you need to develop in a scenario where the consequences are high or low or subjective or objective. And you sometimes need to really ask yourself, okay, if it goes wrong, what will happen? And I've actually done that with people.
I know you did it with me on the river the other week.
Did I? I can't remember doing it.
When we went for the swim, and you knew that I wasn't actually leaning away from the water. And you said there was only so many times you could lean, and I was, because with you being so tall, 6'3", every time you leaned this way, I felt like...
actually referred to as a big unit.
I felt I was actually going to end up in the water, so I was leaning the other way to try and stop, but you didn't actually lean that far over because you knew I was doing that, and the next minute we were both in the water anyhow because I was going against what I was supposed to be doing.
So I took you to an environment.
But you did say afterwards, one, you let it happen because it was a safe environment for me to be able to to deal with it, and that's why it was allowed to happen. It was not that you was a cruel coach or a bad coach, or I'll just let her do it. You know, you knew that I'd be safe in that environment. Which is what I've said all along, is that having somebody who understands and who can coach you, and you feel safe with it.
Let people make safe mistakes. And then they'll get better at handling those mistakes and adapting to those mistakes. And when you've seen them deliver a high degree of skill and, this is important, rectify mistakes repetitively, that's when they're getting a high degree of capability. They get it right most of the time. When they get it wrong, they can still organise themselves and sort it. And that's the point that confidence should kick in. You should not be able to just gift people confidence. Hey, have some magic confidence. You feel so better about yourself now. Can you do it right? No, but I feel like I can. Well, that's not good enough.
No, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep learning it.
Yes.
And obviously I'm still on that journey of learning the canoeing and going on to that, getting used to that tilting, edging.
I often game out with people the consequences. And they'll say, well, this bad thing might happen. Great. And then what? And as if because it's really, really important, the human mind seems to think bad thing happened, universe explodes, all people die, that's the end of existence. It's like, no, bad thing happens. If you're not dead, then life continues. So tell me, then what? Oh, well, bad thing happens, then I respond this way. Fantastic. Then what? Well, I respond this way. Then what? Then I get back to the start and I do it again and I'm okay. Fabulous. So really what happens? The ego takes a dent.
And that's the top and bottom of it. It is. And I know, like when that situation happened, you made me go back in the water. But because when we did go for the swim, I'd lost the paddle, I dropped the paddle, I dropped everything. Literally, I was just like panic and holding my breath. And you encouraged me to go back in the water, which initially I wasn't doing. Was it
like an encouragement like that?
No, you were gentle. You actually said to me, come on, we're going in the water, you're going to go for a swim, and I went no, and I sat down at the side of the water, and you did tell me to stand up because that's not helping you, sitting down. And you went in for the swim first, and you were expecting me to go straight after you, but that didn't happen. But then you did encourage me, and I did it twice. But interestingly, when I actually watched the video, it was for 3 seconds that I actually was in the water, and when I've been swimming before and I've lost my breath and everything, it's 3 seconds of my life. but that's what we've got to start thinking about. What we've got to put it into reality. It's 3 seconds.
Yeah. That's it. You've got to. That's the most important thing. You've got to get a grip on reality and what's actually happening.
Yeah.
What's actually happening and what actually might happen and how you actually might deal with it. The reality of the situation, as opposed to the made-up bullshit in your head.
Yeah.
The nightmare movie in your mind where it's all going to go catastrophically wrong and all these things are going to go bad, and your failure will make everything in the world. It'll, news flash how bad it could be.
Yeah.
As opposed to, the reality is 3 seconds in the water floating on my back and then rolled into an eddy. Job done. You go, yeah, what was I imagining there?
That's it, and that's what it was all about.
Now, don't get me wrong. This is another thing as well. Don't get me wrong. It's really, really, really important to imagine negative outcomes. But you don't just imagine negative outcomes.
No.
You imagine negative outcomes and how you effectively respond to it.
How are you going to get out of it if it does go into a negative?
Yeah. Let me give you a great quote. I was watching The Rescue last night on my computer. Rescue is about the Thai rescue in Thailand, with the boys that were rescued by the British cave divers and the big international rescues going on out there. And they were interviewing a guy called John Valanthan, who is one of the 2 prime rescue divers out there. And he said, and I wrote the quote down. It was like, he says, I use visualization a lot. So this is a cave diver. And I visualize, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but basically he said, I paraphrase all the things that can go wrong, and I visualize all the things that can go wrong, and then I visualize how I'm going to deal with them. And then I take those negative visualizations and the positive ways I'm going to deal with them, and then I put them in a little box, and then I put them on a shelf, and know that they're there if I need them, and then I get on with the dive. I thought,
when it's like again, I'm possibly going to Steve Peters here about that program in your brain, so that you've got in the computer, so it's automatic, and it's a similar kind of thing. You go to the computer for the answers, so you've got your answers in there, i.e. get it planned.
Yes.
So it's in your computer, so that when that chimp does kick in and the panicking is kicking in, the human's there saying, there's an answer in here, there's an answer in the filing cabinet, kind of thing to tell you. So it's the same kind of thing, isn't it?
And that's so. Training people to respond quickly and automatically is really, really important. Training can outcome emotional responses. Why do you think the military do it?
Over and over again.
Over again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. You'll hear them call it muscle memory, that your muscles don't have memory, but it becomes an automated response.
Well, which again with athletics, when you're coaching kids with a physical activity, you keep doing it. But you've got to make sure you're doing it the correct way, because if you do it, you're not doing a technique the right, even though there's no such thing as right and wrong, but in a situation, if you don't do it the right way and you think you've got it in your head, if it's not done correctly, that technique, it can cause more damage. Learn to acclimate yourself to the environment first, and then perfect the technique. But don't expect the technique to be perfect first time. Develop perfection over time. Aim for perfection. Don't expect for perfection. But I think once you start challenging yourself, that is when the confidence does grow, because you become more confident in your skills, what you're doing.
Stop. Say that again.
Right, what did I have to say? So you're challenging yourself, so you're going to challenge yourself, and it's every time when you challenge yourself, your skills will become better, so then you become more confident.
When you challenge yourself, your skills become better, and therefore you become more confident. And that's it in a nutshell. Anybody that's sitting at home viewing life from a couch, voyeuristically watching YouTube or Facebook videos and thinking they're developing themselves is lying. The only way you get better is to get off the couch and practice the skills in context. Once you've got them in context, then you can practice them mentally. You then develop skills which will then develop confidence. You cannot develop confidence without challenging yourself.
You've got to challenge yourself.
You have to challenge yourself.
You've got to challenge yourself, because the thing is, if you don't challenge yourself, you're sat there going, I could never do that. I could never do that. There's no way I could do that. Well, how do you know whether you can do it until you take? Well,
you probably can't do it because you haven't got the skills.
But you need to learn them. But that's what I'm saying. It's like if you. That's what I'm saying. I am saying that is that if you, whilst you're sat on that couch, you probably can't do it. Yeah. Does that make sense? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you watch the London Marathon, yeah, and you're watching these people run all these miles, you know, and it's like, I could never do that. Well, actually, possibly, and I am one of these, and I still am a little bit on this to do with the marathon thing. I couldn't do that, you know. That chimp is still there, but it's because I'm not taking the effort to actually do it. I know I can walk it. I could walk it quite easily, but doing it running wise, I question myself. I couldn't do it, but it's because I'm not doing anything to actually build them skills
Tell you a
up.
secret. I couldn't run a marathon.
No.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I don't want to.
Possibly.
I don't want to. I don't sit on the couch saying I can't do that, but I wish I could.
No.
I sit there and I go, if I want to do it, I'm going to find out how.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't sit there and say, I can't do something and have a desire to do something without taking steps.
Steps to do
you
it.
Have to take steps.
But you have to want to do it. Yeah, and like you say, you have to want to do it. Like I said, I have no problem walking, doing a marathon, because I think the Yorkshire Three Peaks is about a marathon, isn't it? I think it's 24 miles or something like that. And I know I've done that, so I know I can walk it. But actually physically doing it as a marathon on the London Marathon or anything like that, I've never done it. But that's because I've not took the skills to do it and learned the skills for it.
It's not a priority.
No, it's not a priority. My priority is other things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to look. It's not a priority.
Yeah. Thank you.